Looks like we are. Yes. Hi. Welcome to If Abundance is Infinite. Oh, I gotta name this. Hang on, give me a sec. If abundance is infinite, where is mine? Let's see. Free class. I'm changing this right now. It's a Facebook group. Oh gosh, now I'm typing all in capitals. If abundance is infinite, where the heck is mine? Oh, oops. Free class. Let's pop that here. Free class. Cool. Thanks for bearing with me while I add a title to the live stream. Hi, everybody. Who's here? Hi, Brenda. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Cynthia. Hi, Carly. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me here. I'm so happy to be here. Hello to everybody on YouTube who is watching also. I'm sorry I can't have all of the things up at the same time, but I can see you. I know you're there. So today we are let me hit record. I want to record this. Record to the cloud. Recording in progress. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Kimmy. Welcome, guys. Hey, Luna. Welcome. Hi, Taz. So today, welcome to our class. If abundance is infinite, where's mine? Has anybody ever thought that when you hear this phrase, abundance is infinite? Has everybody, hey, Leanne, hey, Gina, hey, Daniela. Oh, you've been excited all day. I love it. Has anybody ever heard this phrase, abundance is infinite? And when you do, have you ever wondered, well, if that's the case, hello, I'm a good person. I work hard. I do everything that I can. I try, and do all the things. I think I'm following directions. I think I'm manifesting right. Hey, Delia, so good to see you, honey. And Daniela has never heard that phrase. I love it. I'm so happy to be the one to introduce it to you. It flies around in some of the spiritual worlds, and especially with manifesting. But a lot of times, right, people say abundance is infinite, but if you're not experiencing your infinite abundance, you're left wondering, well, what the heck? Where is my abundance? Why can't I have more? How come those people, hey, Kat, welcome. How come those people get to have everything that they want and need? What makes them better than me that I don't get to have everything I want and need? And just what the hell? So if you can relate to that, then this class is for you, my darling. So what we're going to be covering today is we're going to be talking about the infinite nature of abundance and some logical evidence that shows that abundance is indeed infinite, that resource flow is indeed infinite, limitless, okay? Then we're going to talk about, well, if that's the case, why don't you have access to it? If abundance truly is infinite, then what's blocking you from yours? How to get unblocked, and then what the next steps are. So that's going to be our class today. Jenny can relate. Hi, Linz. Welcome, sweetheart. Welcome to the class. So before I dive all the way deep into that, I do want to give you just a little bit of background about me. There are many of you who are brand new to our community, and we're so happy to have you. It's so wonderful to have new voices and new experiences in our space. But it probably means that you don't really know a lot about me. So I am a money mindset and manifestation expert. So I hang out in the sweet spot between science and magic. I am super logical, and also I am super spiritual. I operate in the 3D. We try to do like specific takeaways. We try to do action steps. And I'm incredibly philosophical and incredibly woo. And I didn't come from money, which means that no matter what you've been through and no matter what you're going through right now, I've probably been there. I was raised in foster care. I have been homeless 4 times. I have lived on $25 a week for food. I've experienced all of the abuses that it's possible for a person to experience. And here I am. Here I am, living in my $1 million house, running my $1 million business, working 3 days a week, being myself, having what I need, traveling whenever I want, taking time off whenever I want, making passive investment income that covers all my expenses so I don't actually have to work if I don't want to. Okay? So it doesn't matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Oh, by the way, I'm a single mom. When I was homeless all 4 times, I was a single mom. Oh, by the way, I failed in business. In fact, I failed 6 times. 4 out of those 6 times, I ended up homeless. Okay. So this is my 7th attempt at business. I've been running it for 11 years and it just keeps getting better and better. Okay, so it doesn't, like I said, doesn't matter where you are. Where you are is not your destination unless you stay still, unless you actually don't take any action. And the thing is, like, you're in this group, which already tells me that you are taking action. You have taken action. You took action just to join this class, right? Being here now or watching the replay, you are taking action. So you're already moving. I just like to just kind of speed up the process for you, make it a little bit easier, collapse time frames. I don't want it to take you 11 years to get to where I am. I want it to take you maybe 2, maybe 5, definitely not 11. Does that sound good? So that's a little bit of my background. Not only that, but I'm incredibly good at what I do. My clients have made over $1 billion, over $1.4 billion at my last count in the last almost 4 years. Okay. So those are mostly people who started at less than $5,000 a month. Some of them were less than 8,000. A couple of them were less than 20,000 a month. And one of them had built a multi-million-dollar business, but had made 0 income for 18 months before he got to me. So there's no like riches to more riches stories within my community. It's a lot of regular people doing a thing and increasing their wealth and increasing their lifestyle and getting to the next level and then getting to the next level beyond that. I do work with millionaires, but those are my one-on-one clients. So everybody in my group are people just like you. Okay. So I'm not like detached is what I'm saying. There are a lot of people who teach wealth management or wealth manifesting and things like that who don't really have any idea of what it takes to struggle, of what it takes to survive, and then what it takes, how to break out of survival, how to release those patterns. Cool. All right. So let's first move into the first part of today's class, which is how do we know that abundance is truly infinite? How do we know that abundance is truly infinite? Cool. And if you have any questions, you can definitely pop them. I can see the comments and the comments are updating, but I can only see 4 comments at a time. So if I miss your question, I might ask you to repost it. Okay. So back in 2004, NASA pointed the Hubble telescope at a 1-inch square of the night sky, just to see what they would capture. Because if they just pointed the telescope out there, it just looked black. But they were so curious. What's out in space? What is out there? So they pointed it at that black square inch of space for about 4 months. And at the end of the 4 months, they were absolutely blown away by what they found. Within 1 square inch of sky, they were able to count over 10,000 galaxies. 10,000 galaxies. And this, by the way, this is like 2004 science. With the new telescopes, they're finding out that there is so much more out there that we have never discovered, even just in our immediate surroundings. So it's so fascinating with these advancements in science. Anyway, so we're doing 2004 science, but it's more, it's bigger. So 10,000 galaxies. Within each galaxy, there can be up to 1 trillion stars. 1 trillion stars. 1 trillion is 1,000 billions. And 1 billion is 1,000 millions. Okay. So in one galaxy, there's up to 1 trillion stars and there's 10,000 galaxies. And each star has the capacity, each of the 1 trillion has the capacity to hold its own solar system, like our sun. And that's in just 1 square inch of our night sky. There is so much out there that we don't know about. And just because we didn't know about it yesterday, or just because we don't know about it now, does not mean that it doesn't exist. Okay? So just because you don't know how to tap into abundance doesn't mean that infinite abundance doesn't exist for you specifically, sweetness. So yeah, those numbers can actually be quantified, right? There's 10,000 galaxies, 1 trillion stars. Each star can have its own solar system of hundreds of planets. A solar system doesn't have to just have 9 planets or 15 planets. Like they keep finding that our solar system has more than just the planets that we thought that it had. And that in itself is fascinating, right? So those numbers are quantifiable, but do you see that it's so vast that it's actually hard for our heads to wrap around? So there's so much that even though there's numbers, it feels infinite. Yes? Okay. Yes, so mind-blowing, right? It just is like, what? It's insane. So when I talk logically about the infinite nature of abundance, I don't mean on and on and on and on and on when I'm talking logically, when we're in the 3D. I simply mean there's so fucking much. It feels infinite. It feels infinite. It feels like there's so much. And that, if we bring our attention down to earth, there's a lot of things that are, that have the same pattern. Okay. Let's start with fruit. A fruit tree. Has anybody ever owned a fruit tree before? Like a healthy one that produces fruit? If you've owned a fruit tree, you have witnessed the impossibility that lies in trying to consume all the fruit on the tree, right? You're like, picking it every day. You've got 2 apple trees. I love that, Kat. You're picking it every day. You're sharing the fruit with your friends, your family. You're just bringing over bags of apples, making pies, making jams, like you're doing whatever you can. I have clients and students and people in my community who put the excess fruit on the wall, and there's always more fruit, right? And then the animals in the area are coming in and eating all the fruit. And there's still fruit left on the ground, rotting at the end of the day. Yes, Donna, got a peach tree. Delicious. There's still always fruit left on the ground, rotting. This is a tangible manifestation of infinite abundance. It doesn't matter how much you consume, there's still always more, because food is abundant on planet Earth. In excess, there's tons, there's so much of it. Let's talk about wheat. Did you know that there is enough wheat harvested every single year to feed 11 billion people? Every year, 11 billion people. Guys, there's only 8 billion on our planet. In the entire world, in every part where there is known human life, there is only 8 billion. So every year, an excess of wheat for 3 billion people is harvested. There is not a food shortage. Okay. The next question that usually comes up in people's minds is, well, where's the food going? We're not going to get into who's controlling the food and why. It's a political thing. So we're not going to get into why. And Kat, absolutely. Yeah, Kathy, me too. I'm going to have to live on fruit. But still, you see my point, right? My point is there is no scarcity. There's food in abundance. There is food in infinite abundance because, guys, we just covered fruit and wheat. Those are only two sources of food. And they are in infinite supply. Do you know that there's a town in Oregon, there's a town in Utah, and there's a town in Argentina, where in those towns, food is free. The farmers bring the food to the market. People go to the market, take what they need. No one goes hungry. Everybody has plenty. Isn't that beautiful? It's evidence, guys. It's evidence that food is abundant and food is a resource. Food is part of resource flow. Okay. You'll hear me talk about resource flow quite often because resource flow is bigger than money. It's all the resources. Milk is, yeah, absolutely. That doesn't include the people that can't eat wheat. Exactly. Right. Oh, so funny. I know. It's so beautiful. Luna, I totally agree. So food is a resource. Energy is a resource. Love is a resource. Money is a resource. When I talk about resource flow, I'm talking about it's essentially like the mother of money. Money is like resource flows, children. Okay. Food is resource flows, kids, and infinite. There's infinite resource flow energy. There is infinite manifestations of resource flow energy. It's just, there's a lot. There's tons. There's tons. Scarcity, my darlings, is a man-made concept. Humans invented scarcity to create fear. It worked. It's incredibly effective. Worked. Now, you don't have to buy into scarcity. You can as much as you want to, but you have the choice not to. You have the choice to operate in a different paradigm of thought. Not in scarcity, not in lack, not in this man-made concept that doesn't exist, that's fabricated, that's bonkersville. You have the choice to operate and exist in an abundant paradigm, to look at the world and see what's there and stop believing everything that you're being told and start to see for yourself. Okay? Let's talk about money. Yes, Donna, scarcity is a mindset. Absolutely. It was created. And there's a long, boring story about when and where and how and why it was created about 10,000 years ago. We're not going to go into that because we're staying out of politics. Here's the thing. You can choose to participate in the negative paradigms, or you can choose to not play that game. You do not have to be part of that entire system. You can choose to operate in your own system. Okay. That's why I'm here, because my job is to teach people how. How do you disassociate from scarcity? How do you live in abundance? Okay, the last one I want to do as an example is money. If you have listened to the news in the last year or two, if you have read anything on Facebook, if you have read a newspaper or an outlet, or you've followed the economy grumblings, I'm going to say, you probably heard a rumor that there's not as much money. Anybody heard that rumor? There's not as much as there used to be. People aren't spending money. We're going into a recession. The dreaded R. Yes, Kathy nailed it. The dreaded R word. Yeah, you heard that? Okay, well, I actually looked at some numbers. I've been following numbers for a while because I was always curious. How much? Hi, Dawn. It is frustrating, but you know what? Like, everybody gets to have the right to have their own existence. I choose not to participate. If I could control everybody's minds, the world would be perfect. Vote for me for world president. But other than that, everybody just has to stay in their lane. Okay, so you've heard these rumors. Money is scarce. It's going to dip. Okay, so I've been following the economy, the global economy, for years now, since before COVID. Do you know that there's 4 times more money circulating around the global economy right now than there was 4 years ago? You guys are so cute. 4 times more. You guys, someone started a nasty rumor. There is not less money. There is 4 times more money than there was just 4 years ago. Why? Because abundance is infinite. It's infinite. Even though it has finite numbers while we were on this planet, it's still like can literally be created out of nothing. There's 4 times more money circulating in the global economy right now than 4 years ago, than before COVID. Okay. So all of this nonsense is just that. Doesn't exist. It's made up. Someone said, I'm going to make up a rumor. And then they did. And a bunch of people bought it, including like some of us. And that's okay, because we thought it was true. It's no one's fault except for, the shitheads who started the rumor. But now you have an option. Now you know the truth. You have an option. You can choose to participate, or you can choose to separate, right? You can choose to play in the abundance, the scarcity mindset, or you can choose to have a different experience, because this is your life. You get to choose what kind of experience you want to have while you are here. So now let's talk about what stops you from being able to have the experience that you want to have. What stops you from accessing more money? And I want to do a little diagram for you. I'm about to, knock your socks off with my drawing abilities, because I'm just phenomenal. If I don't say so myself. So this is your brain. Okay. This is a theory called theory of mind. And this is how your brain works. Okay. Just to explain. Thank you. Yes, Gina chooses to separate. Make t-shirts. I do not consent to participate in scarcity mindset. Yes. Cool. Okay, so this is your brain. This is the primitive area. If you have done any kind of studying or reading up about the brain, this is the reptilian part. This is the lizard brain, the monkey mind. Different people call it different things. We call it the primitive area, because this is the part of our DNA that we just inherited from our Homo sapiens. So back when we were people living in caves, wearing loincloths and grunting at each other, we still have about an eighth of their DNA. We have not evolved out of that. And you might know some people who have more than an eighth, but we're not going to call them out today. We also have, hi, sweetheart, miss you. We also have, we've got 5 basic responses that are ingrained. They're automatic responses. They're survival mechanisms. It's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and flop. Okay. Now, the ones we're going to talk about are fight and flight. Those are the most prevalent because fight used to be how you would protect yourself from danger. Fight or run away, flee, right? But nowadays we don't face life-threatening situations every day, hopefully, right? But we still have these mechanisms that have us fight or flee. And how it manifests now is it's triggered by the stress of everyday life, and it manifests as anxiety. Okay. And then if the anxiety gets too great, we flee into depression. And unless we learn adequate coping mechanisms, we're just bouncing back and forth between anxiety and depression. Between the ages of 0 and 8, we're like little sponges. Everything we see, everything we hear, everything we're told, we smell, we touch, everything that we are exposed to becomes a truth to our little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old mind, 6, 7, 8-year-old mind. Okay. Everything. The brain does not filter for right or wrong, good or bad, true or false. So if your mom taught you that where Alaska is actually Canada, you, for the rest of your life, will secretly believe that Alaska is truly Canada. You're like, everybody has it wrong, but people show you maps and they're like, look, it says Alaska. And you're like, yeah, but that's how completely our mind receives information and locks it into place as an absolute truth. So some positives might be, how to talk, how to string sentences together, how to eat, how to feed yourself, how to use technology, right? Those are some positive associations. Also, the sun is very warm and cake is delicious. And some negative associations, some negative programs or beliefs, or we also call them narratives, right? They are literally programs. Your brain acts like a computer. So some negative ones might be, there's never enough. We can't afford. Money is evil. People who have money are bad. People who want more money got more money by being terrible people to others. Money is hard to come by. You have to work hard. 1 hour equals this many dollars. Yeah, like lots of them that are relating to money, or I don't deserve. I'm not smart enough. I haven't earned it. That's a big one, right? I haven't earned it. So we have these limiting, these negative programs that actually work against us, that work against what we're trying to create. Okay, so we have positive and negative. And then between the ages of 8 and 12, our brain starts creating logic filters. Okay. Trying to logic or reason with a child under the age of 8 is going to be extraordinarily frustrating because they do not have the center in the brain that operates from logic. Okay. But if you are trying to teach your child logic and they're under the age of 8, you are still placing patterns, but they won't start firing until they turn 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 is when they can finally experience abstract logic, which means that they can understand someone else's experience outside of themselves. Okay, so the critical mind, it is good and it is awful. The reason it's good is because it actually protects all of these things that we learn before the age of 8. So how to walk, how to talk, how to feed ourselves, how to go to the bathroom, how to dress ourselves, how to write, what words mean. Okay. If we didn't have the critical mind, we would have to keep relearning these things. Okay. Or someone, your influential adult, tells you a different thing, and then your mind starts to get confused and conflicted. Okay. So we need the critical mind to remember how to do important life stuff. But the critical mind is so protective that it actually doesn't allow us to get to any of these motherfuckers. Any of these things that are working against us, these limitations, these limiting programs. The critical mind is absolute. Think of like the strongest security system that you can imagine in the world. That is what the critical mind is like. So if you have a thought that says, you know what, I'm going to think positive. This thought hits your critical mind. And here your critical mind goes, well, let me see. Do we have any evidence of that? Do we have any stories? Do we have any patterns or programs in the unconscious mind that support taking in this thought to think positively, if I'm going to be correct in my grammar? And we've got the world is a scary place. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. Blah, blah, blah. There's never enough. You've got all of these limitations and all these negative programs. And your critical mind is like, no, that doesn't belong here. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But when something negative comes in, when someone says something mean to you, even if 100 people have given you beautiful compliments and praise, that one mean thing gets in. Why? And haunts you for the rest of your days. Why? Because it matches patterns that are already down here. It's just reinforcing stuff that's already here. So anything that doesn't match up with here just gets bounced right back out. Doesn't make it into your unconscious mind. That's why it's so hard to change. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's not because there's a piece of you that's missing that everybody else got. No, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is actually working exactly as it was programmed. And the shitty thing is, it was programmed by other people, by society. Yeah, right. Yes, Kathy, exactly. Because after about the age of 25, the only time we get new programs, new patterns, is when we are traumatized. If we go through a very abusive situation, if we have an event that creates shock deactivates the critical mind. Boom, new patterns, new negative patterns, especially, are able to get into your unconscious. So what you didn't fear before, now you do fear because you went into shock. The critical mind deactivated. So it didn't protect you from creating new programs in your mind, but that's the only time. This son of a bitch that I love so dearly, thank you, critical mind, for working to protect me, is virtually impossible to get through. You cannot talk through your critical mind. You can't think past your critical mind. You can't read, you can't write, you can't watch a video to get to these beliefs that are protected by your critical mind. Okay, Audrey, I saw your question. I'll get to that in just a sec, babe. You actually have to do a process. You have to do a process. You can't just read it. You can't just read a book and hope that it's going to fix itself. You can't go to therapy, to regular therapy, without a process and hope that it's going to get better. That's why some people go to therapy for 20, 30 years and they still suffer from the thing that they've experienced for 20 years. Not that therapy is bad. I've been to therapy. I love it. But it doesn't get into the programs. It doesn't get into the unconscious mind. You need a process like hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, EMDR. Some visualization can soften. It doesn't release limiting beliefs, right? You need an actual process. You have to do actual work. So if you see in some of my posts, like you have to do the work, this is what I'm talking about. I don't mean you have to sit and journal for hours. I mean, no, you have to actually do some of these processes and clear out some of this junk in your brain. Oh, Ash, I love you. Nervous breakdowns. That's going to come when you have an overload, when you're overloaded and you have too many stressful events that your mind is not capable or hasn't had the opportunity to sort through and integrate and put in all its right place. There's going to come a time where your brain will just crack. It can lead to nervous breakdowns. It can lead to mental health situations, right? All kinds of different things by no fault of your own, right? By no fault of your own. Really hard, incredibly emotional experiences to go through. And sometimes exactly what you need to be like, fuck this shit. I am done with this fucking shit. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Yeah. Cat. Oftentimes it does just re-traumatize you. Sometimes it's literally just like keeping the wound open and pouring salt on it. Your wound looks like it's closing up. Let's reopen that. Pour some more salt on. And I'm not against talk therapy. Like I said, I've done it. I did it early in my marriage to try to save my marriage, both marriages. It's just that unless both parties are willing, unless anybody's willing to do the actual work that gets into the brain matter. The brain matter. It's neurons, it's neural pathways in your brain that have to be deconstructed in order to change the way that your brain processes information. Sometimes it's called, yay, I love breath work. It's so good. There is nothing more effective at clearing trauma out of the cells than breath work. Yes, I love it. Yay. So I forgot where I was. What was I talking about? Oh, brain matter. Yes. It actually has to break down the neurons, the way that the information travels in your brain. Some people call it rewiring, right? That's what it means. Breaking down the neural pathways, building new neural pathways. Cool. So these things are what you will hear me call limiting beliefs. Some people call them self-limiting beliefs. Some people call them limitations, stories, narratives. It's all the same thing. It's talking about exactly the same thing. Okay. It is limitations, limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. Okay. Why it's important for you to know about limiting beliefs is because your unconscious mind controls 95 to 98% of your day. 95 to 98% of your day. This whole thing is unconscious. You'll hear it called the subconscious mind also. Same. So the unconscious, the subconscious, it's the same. Here you have the conscious mind that has logic, reason, analyzing, decision-making, willpower. It makes up about 5 to 2% of your total mind power. Yeah, Tess, it doesn't strike me that you're 20 years ahead. You're always ahead, babe. Always. Absolutely. So this is when it feels like you have 100% control over your life, but you don't. You have about 5 to 2%. What's controlling your life? Whatever's down here is controlling 98% of your life. Because your automatic behaviors, the way that you see, the way that you understand, the stories that you tell about situations that happen, your emotional triggers, your emotional reactions, what you perceive, everything, all of that stuff, automatic behavior is also located in the unconscious mind. And it is heavily influenced / often controlled by your programming. Okay. That's why it's important to know what your limiting beliefs to know that they're there. Because at least then you're like, okay, my brain's not broken. That's good to know. It's actually working perfectly. It's just that it's filled with limiting beliefs. So, how do you find limiting beliefs? We're going to do that right now. Just want to give you an example of how to find some limiting beliefs. We're done with this. Share. That's how the brain works. Bananasville, right? Bananas. Okay, so I want you to finish this sentence with the first thing that comes to mind. Yes, Kathy, when you sleep and dream, all unconscious. The first part of the night is just your unconscious processing your day. The middle part is your unconscious mind trying to predict what's going to happen in the future. That could be, so if you're particularly tapped in, that would be premonitions, like premonition dreams, things like that. That would be when your deja vu's download, things like that. And then the last part of your night is venting. So your unconscious mind releases anything that you no longer want or need. Cool. So I want you to finish the sentence with the first thing that comes to mind, the very first thing. Okay. I would have more money by now, but Jackie, that's awesome. I would have more money by now, but what's the first thing that comes up? That is a limiting belief. If you'd like to share them in the chat, you're welcome to. I would have more money by now, but I don't know how. I keep trying and nothing's working. There's not enough money. I don't deserve it. I'm not smart enough. I don't have a business. I've reached my maximum capacity. Everything I'm trying isn't working. I don't think it will happen. Beautiful. I don't have enough hours in the day. I was scared and playing small and didn't feel worthy. Spent more than I have. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Good. Good. Don't know how. Yep. Beautiful. Can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. Yes. Beautiful. Reached your capacity. Hey, Keelan. Reached my capacity. Yeah. So, and then go again. I would have more money by now, but. And then what comes up? Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You spent it all, Lacey. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, didn't take care of it. You weren't a good steward. Blame. Just need to move forward. Yeah, absolutely. Tired, Carly. Yes. So these are all limitations. Now, for those of you whose limiting belief came up with blame, I spent it all. I wasn't a good steward. I would imagine that there's another limiting belief under there that says I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it because I didn't do a good job with it. Harriet, but I don't. That's very simple. Yeah. Everything costs too much. It's too expensive. You're not made to have more money. Hi, Shelly. Welcome, honey. Yeah, totally. Okay, what else? I would have more money by now, but. Or another one, I would be further ahead by now, but. Oh, Harriet, I'm not because. Dawn, you stopped the flow because you were scared. Super legit, bud. Super legit. Gets very, oh, Carly, ouch. Money or success trauma. Yep, Kat, good noticing. Beautiful noticing, guys. Got it. So these are limiting beliefs. These are just some. You probably have zillions. No, not probably. You do have at least billions, maybe trillions, and that's okay. There are some specific beliefs that are stopping you from moving forward, probably the ones that came up right now. Okay. Those are the next things to tackle. You chose a different way of life. Yeah, the night you're calling. Sure. So I'd like to share a little secret with you. Just crossing off, Keelan. Zillions. Just crossing off what we've covered already. I want to share a secret. And the secret is you can have everything that you want as long as it's meant for you. You can have everything you want, as long as it's meant for you. The universe will say yes to all your requests. I did not, Kathy. Nope, no other questions. The universe will say yes to every request that you have, as long as it's meant for you. But usually you won't want something that's not, you won't truly want something that's not meant for you. You only might think you want something because someone else got it. So the universe will say yes to all your requests. Okay. But what might block it? We're going to go over what might block it. What's blocking? What's blocking your connection with infinite abundance? One, timing. Timing. You don't control the timing. The timing is divine. It's part of a larger ecosystem. Every one of the 8 billion people on this planet are all interwoven into a beautiful tapestry. John says, be careful what you ask for. Yeah, if you ask for timing to speed up, oh, it will. It will. Think of it like this, darling. It's like baking a cake, okay? The cake has a certain amount of minutes. It's 25 for our cakes with our oven. Certain amount of minutes that it has to be in the oven for in order to bake. Okay, but maybe you forgot to look at the box before you threw it away. And so you put the cake in, and then every like minute you open the oven up and you're like, are you baked yet? The hell? You open it up next 5 minutes. Are you baked? Are you done? What's going on? The cake's not baking. Meanwhile, what are you doing every time you open the oven? Letting heat out. You're making it take longer, right? Anyway, so you open it up, you're getting more and more frustrated. What the hell? Because you don't know. I know, I love this story. You don't know how long it takes the cake to bake. So you start yelling at it. Bake faster. Start getting frustrated with the cake. What the hell? Why aren't you baked yet? What's happening? What's going on? Go, right? You get really frustrated with the cake. And at 19 minutes, you're like, cakes don't bake. Doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Cakes don't bake. And of course, when we're talking about a cake, it sounds ridiculous, right? Because everybody knows that cakes have a set amount of time that they have to be in the oven. Oh, hi, Crystal. Hi, Jordan. Just because you don't know what the time is doesn't mean it doesn't have a divine time. It does. You cannot speed up the process by yelling at it, by getting frustrated. And if you give up, your cake will definitely not bake. And then you'll be walking around with this belief that you spread around to people. Cakes don't bake, guys. Someone says, I'm going to bake a cake. Oh, don't even bother. Don't even bother. Cakes don't bake. Right? And it's just because you didn't know what the divine timing was. And that's why this is a process of trust and surrender. Okay. You can't force the timing. It doesn't matter how mad you get at the timing. You can't make it happen. It's not going to work. Okay. You might not be receiving it. You might be specifically blocking it. If you aren't comfortable with actually receiving it, you might be specifically blocking it. So the universe is trying to bring you what you're asking for, and it's sitting on the doorstep, but you won't open the door. Okay, so you're not receiving it. It may not arrive how you think it will, right? We've seen lots of fun stories about testimonials and people using the money magnet journal and getting this cash. And Audrey, you had a great one, right? You thought it was going to come in one way, and then you checked your investment accounts. Boom, $7,500. Whoa, wasn't expecting that, right? Just because it comes in a way that you're not expecting does not invalidate the arrival of it, right? You don't get to dictate since you are not God, right? The universe has this whole big elaborate plan. Lots of people are involved. So you actually have to notice it when it comes in. Don't try to predict or force it to come in a specific way. This happened with a client before. She was wanting 15,000 for her savings account. 15,000 would give her peace of mind. It would cover 3 months of bills, emergency expenses. She could breathe. Okay, so between the first session, the previous session and the next session, excuse me, she was like, no, nothing worked it. And I was like, okay, no worries. Divine timing. As long as you're following intuition, everything is working out. And then she mentioned something about some money. And I was like, oh, what money is that? She's like, oh, well, I got a surprise tax rebate for $17,000. Oh, and your $15,000 didn't come in? And then she was like, wait, oh, does that count? Yes, it counts. It all counts. Just because it comes in a different way does not invalidate the fact that you received it. Maybe a family member gives you money out of the blue. Yeah, that counts. Just because it didn't come in through this one direct way that you thought it was supposed to come in doesn't mean it didn't come in. You actually have to want the thing that you're trying to manifest. Okay. The story I love to use all the time is so many of my clients come into session to work with me with a goal of making $1 million if they haven't yet made $1 million. Okay. They want $1 million, but what they really want is security. They really want freedom. They really want time freedom, life freedom, financial freedom. They don't need $1 million. One came in, I need $10 million. Okay, for what? Tell me what you're using $10 million for. Oh, well, I just want it sitting in the bank. Okay. Do you know how much interest you make? Like on $10 million? No. Well, about $1 million. What are you planning to do with $1 million a year? Oh, well, I hadn't thought of that, right? She didn't actually want $10 million. She wanted security. She wanted freedom. She was a single mom and she wanted to feel safe. She needed to have the security and the safety. She didn't need the thing. So when you bypass the thing that you think you want to go for what you actually want, you actually create a way for the universe to bring you what you need in alternate means if you're still working through your relationship with money. It's beautiful. You have to believe it's possible. This is where limiting beliefs come in. Whatever limiting beliefs you have around the possibility of it happening for you will block you 100% of the time. 100%. Okay. And you cannot control it. Can't control the process. Again, you're not God. You're not the one moving everything around, introducing these people, crossing these paths. You can't dictate how it happens, where it happens, when it happens, why it happens. You can't control that. Surrender, trust. Thanks, Donna. Yeah, it's right. It's so much easier when you can kind of understand, right? Like when it's not this vague concept, you can really understand the process. It just makes it so much easier. Other things that could block you with accessing your infinite abundance is your relationship with money, which is touched on it. If you don't like money, it won't come to you. If you don't want to be a person that is bad because that's what your brain believes about people who have money, it won't come to you. If you do not believe that it likes you, it won't come to you. Why? Because your brain has a job, which is to make itself right, to keep you safe. So if your brain thinks that you don't like money, it's going to keep money away from you to protect you. Aw. Well, isn't that cute? So working on your relationship with money is paramount. You have to. Your deserve level. Do you believe you deserve it? If not, you will not receive it. You won't follow intuitive hits that tell you do this, do this, do this, because you don't believe it. Manifesting is easy, guys. Manifesting is so easy. What's not easy is keeping what you manifesting consistently. Dealing with the fallout of the upgrade of your income. Personally, logistically, systematically, like in your life, who am I when I make more money, right? The safety, your brain, integrating into your brain that it is okay for making money to be easy. That does not feel safe for a lot of people. Another belief that doesn't feel safe for a lot of people, it doesn't feel effortless. It's not safe for it to feel effortless. It's not safe for you to believe that you have to earn it or to take that belief away, right? I don't have to earn money to have it. Ooh, that creates a major reaction in the body, right? So manifesting easy. Yes, honey. that is a hard one to change. But all of the things that happen when you manifest, staying out of self-sabotage, those things are not easy. Okay. You can do this. It's not easy relaxing when you're constantly wound up. Absolutely. So now you know, like, here are some of the things that you have to tackle, right? And that's okay. Even though it might feel like, oh, I have to deal with all of this. Like, wouldn't it be easier just to be poor? Yeah, sure. It would be much easier to stay the same. But if that's not what you want, your only choice is to take steps forward. You manage this journey. You are the one who's in control of this. No one can tell you what to do, and no one can do it for you. No one can think for you. No one can act for you. No one can ask for support on your behalf for you. You are the only one. Okay. The responsibility lies with you, but there are tons of resources that you have access to. You all have access to the free Become a Money Magnet journal. If you need a hard copy, some of you even have yours in your possession already. You can get them on Amazon if you want a hard copy. So there's lots of free resources, so many. And the bottom line is, darlings, what you want, yay, Kathy, what you want, your goals, your life. Yay, Gina. Woohoo. Yay. Yeah, Kat, me too. I actually printed out 2 copies. Like, I did one and then I printed out in a new month. So I'm using the rest of mine before I get to my hot copy. I'm so excited because that shit was expensive. But what you want is already planned out for you. There's a map. There's a whole map. Every single step is already laid out. Every tiny detail down to the minutest aspect is already laid out for you. Okay. The map exists. The only thing you have to figure out is how to read your map. Okay. That's it. That's all. What you want wants you. Yes. And is waiting for you. And it's like, hey, come get me. Come get me. Come get me. Copy coming tomorrow. Yay, Cynthia. So exciting. Okay, my loves. So that is why you don't have access to your infinite abundance immediately. However, now you should have a list of things that you need to tackle, and you're just going to tackle them one by one. And take one step at a time. You're in this beautiful community that I just love and cherish. And we're here for you. We're here to support you. You can start with a journal, totally free. There's some other classes you can start with that are totally free. And for those of you who enjoyed our content today and are ready for the next step, I thank you, sweetheart. I always love listening to you too. I want to tell you a little bit about my 3-day workshop, Clarity. I'm so excited. Who signed up for Clarity already? I sent an announcement last Friday, but the proper launch for Clarity starts right now, which is exciting. So I haven't really sent any info out. So Clarity is for you if you want to know what your very next steps are. I'm so excited. Can't wait. So if you want to know what your very next steps are, right? You've got this information, but you're like, what next? Okay. If that's you, clarity is for you, because I can't actually tell you what your next steps are. Everybody's journey is uniquely different. But what I can do is I can show you exactly how to find out what your next steps are. Okay. So clarity is 3 days. It's 2 hours per day. Very cool. First, I want to tell you about day one. So day one is how to find your purpose. If you have been wondering, like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? I know I'm meant for something. I just don't know what. How to find your purpose is going to walk you through the steps of exactly what you need to do in order to find your thing. Spoiler alert, you came to this planet in order to be yourself. But walking you through the steps will show you in a little bit more detail what that means. Like how, exactly what are you supposed to do around being yourself? How do you make money being yourself? All right. Next, let me tell you about day two's workshop. Day two is how to get the right answer every time. I don't answer questions for people. I mean, I kind of do. People are like, how do I deal with that? How do I deal with that? Like, do you have any suggestions for an exercise for this? I answer those kind of questions, but I don't answer questions for people that are like, what should I do next? Should I do this or should I do that? Which is my right path? What are my next right steps? I don't answer those questions for people because I can't think for anyone. I don't know. But what I can do is I can show you how to get the exact right answer every single time. I can show you how to access your alpha map. Every single detail in minute steps, half steps, teensy baby steps, really. And then as well, I will teach you how to talk to your angel team, how to talk to your spiritual team, because sometimes we hear the answer, but we move immediately into self-doubt. And our mind parades in front of us all the things that we've ever done wrong, all the mistakes that we've ever made. And so when you can also talk to your spiritual team, you can get validation that's outside of yourself, or you can get guidance that's outside of yourself. So you can just essentially sidestep the doubt. Your team will just tell you directly. So I'm going to be teaching you how to talk to your angels. And then we're also going to do a segment of Ask Your Angels, which is a fan favorite. So I will be doing just some straight channeling with your angels, with your team. You can ask questions. What should I do now? I'm not sure. What about this? And your team will tell you what to do, not me. I don't know. So that's day two. And then lastly, let me tell you about day three. On day three, we have a workshop that is called How to Position Yourself for Passive Investment Income. This is very exciting. Jim is going to be teaching this. Now, Jim has 20 years in financing and banking. Not only has he helped countless people create passive investment income for themselves, but he's also taught people how to build businesses to exit. He's got lots and lots of knowledge about different kinds of investments and things like that. And so wherever you're at, he's going to give you some instruction on how to move from where you're at to create passive investment income. And if you're not sure what passive investment income is, because I just talked to someone the other day and she was like, wait, what? That's possible? It means that you can put money somewhere and that money pays you every single month, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to earn it. You can literally just be napping and that money comes in anyway. So that's the dream, right? That right there is the dream. Whether you still work, which I choose to, because I freaking love what I do, and you keep growing your investments, or you build your nonprofits, or you contribute that to your nonprofits, even while you sleep, Audrey. Exactly. You already have passive investments, which is amazing. Love it. So Jim's going to be teaching that. Okay. So we've got all 3 days, 2 hours a day for the teensy investment of $44. $44. I'm going to pop it right there, pop the link right there. I will pop it in the post as well once we're done. But you can go ahead and grab your seat if you're ready for that. Usually, to do one-on-one sessions, to get in the room with me, is $40,000. $40,000 one-on-one. So $44 is a steal. A steal. It's very, very good, especially because of what you're going to be learning at this workshop that will serve you for the rest of your life. This will be the only time I'm teaching it live. Those people who have been following me for a little longer know I teach stuff once. Jackie, this starts March 20th. March 20th, there will be replays available if you are busy during the day, if you already have plans. And I will have a form that you can submit your questions for each day if you're not able to be live. There are limited seats available, and we are almost half sold out. Like, even just with gently suggesting it, we're almost half sold out. So definitely grab your seat. So what you'll get from this workshop is your next action steps. What do I do next? You will learn how to find your purpose. You will learn how to set up your passive investment income, and you will learn how to get the right answer every time that you're at a crossroads. You will have the ability to never make that mistake again. The ability doesn't mean you're going to listen every time, right? You'll have the ability. Lacey, no problem. Yes, exactly. If you don't have 44, the class will be available after the fact. I'm just teaching this one time, but it's not going anywhere, okay? So you just start with a journal. You just do your work. I saw your story. I know first you need to work on getting a new job, one that feels aligned. And we definitely want to get right on that in order to keep you in your house and keep you fed. But yeah, I totally understand. I totally understand. There's no judgment there. So good. And then if you want a little bit more attention, and if you want lifetime access to the workshops. Oh, that's awesome. Daniela, what great suggestion. If you want lifetime access to the workshops, you can upgrade to VIP for an extra $44. You'll get an intimate group call, group Q&A with me and Jim. For any questions that you still have from the workshop, any suggestions on how to move forward, if you had any challenges with the processes, you've got a little bit more of my time and attention. And and then you get lifetime access to the workshop. So I'm so excited. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot. And remember, if you're in Practical Manifesting, you get clarity for free. So do not buy a ticket. Do not buy a ticket. You get it for free. In fact, you should already have the info. So I'm happy to hang out for about maybe 5 more minutes if anybody has any questions. Other than that, I'll see you soon, my darlings. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure being here. I'm so happy that I got a chance to teach this course. So funny, because when I'm a guest speaker in other people's paid communities, this is the class that I teach. Oh, Daniela, that is so sweet. Lacey, did you set an intention to manifest that? Because that was very quick. Oh, I love that. Gina, did you have a question? I missed it. That was so beautiful. That was so sweet. Love it. Love the memories. Aw, and loved having you. Sweetness. Yay. Gina, did you have a question? I know it's, lifetime access. So anybody who does not get the VIP, you will still have access to the workshop for 2 weeks after the workshop ends. So probably, I'll probably just do it like till mid March, or like 3 weeks. So 3 weeks of access. And then if you do upgrade to the VIP, then you'll get lifetime access. If you did not get the VIP and you would like to upgrade to the VIP, I'll post a link right there. No problems at all. You can still upgrade to VIP. You can even upgrade to VIP while we are doing the workshop. It's no problem. It's not going away. And that was so sweet. Oh, so beautiful. I love it. All right, my darlings. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. Other than that, feel free to post questions. Just tag me once we sign off in the group or on the post. If you're watching the replay, tag me in your questions so I can see it. And other than that, I'll see you around. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, will I see you tomorrow? I won't. First week of April? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Gina. It'll still be there. Yeah, it'll still be there. Don't worry about it. I won't see you for Thoughtful Thursday because this is our replacement for Thoughtful Thursday. So I'll see you on Friday for Feedback Friday. Yay, Crystal. Yay, you're here. I didn't know you were here. Glad to have you, sweetheart. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I hate teaching to an empty room. Hate it. So I'm so glad that you are here to be here and bounce off. And I'll see you soon. So much love to you all. What? Bye.